the term God or Yahweh or Jesus in the Bible codes, that's almost 99% of the time referring to Satan, not God, not the Most High, not Yahushua, the Son of God, because Satan is coming claiming he's God. And the Bible codes are a live piece of work. You will see them change over time. You will see them change just over months. It's almost just completely fascinating, because I see things as things are happening in my life. I'll see it already updated in the codes. I'll see things in the codes that it's like, wow, he's good. I didn't see this a couple months ago or a couple years in the codes in regards to myself, but there it is now, and how did he know that changed? And it's put somebody else in my life. The names change, people change, that come into my life in and out, and it's just amazing. It's a really live piece of work. And the Lord's given me a key to this, and there was somebody over at the Deep Space Nine website that confirmed what I've been saying. The Lord had given me a key to the Bible codes and understanding how to work them. And I've never even talked to this guy. I don't even know who he is, but he did the code on me, and he confirmed everything I had said. He even came up with some more interesting stuff about my death in 2009. I just thought this is more interesting than one of the stuff I found. But I haven't posted it. I haven't posted half of anything of what I have actually found in regards to myself. But that's, it's not about me. Nothing I do is about me. It's about the Lord. It's about the Most High. It's about leading His people and how to get through these times that are coming and what to expect and prepared. That's what it's about. It's about being His mouthpiece to the nations. He told me in 2004 that I would speak to the nations, and right now I'm speaking to over 116 nations that tune in to listen to these radio broadcasts. And so it's been an incredible journey over the last several years. And I do this full-time. I don't do anything else. I know I had a question from a listener. Tell me something about yourself. Why should I listen to you? And this is a legitimate question from somebody in the Navy. And I sent him the link to my introduction, Who is Sherry Shriner, and you can read that at SherryShriner.com. If you just scroll down to the left side of the page underneath my graphic for Aliens on the Internet book, there's a link, Who is Sherry Shriner. And you can read that as the introduction in one of my books. But basically, just above and beyond that, I'm just, I was a triple major at Kent State University. I majored in journalism, criminal justice, and political science. I wanted to be a White House news reporter. And, when I was going through high school, all I would do was sit in class and dream about taking Leslie Stahl's job over and sitting next to Sam Donaldson and just going at the president, That's all I wanted to do, be a White House news reporter, and the Lord put the brakes on that. Now I'm just a mom, 4 kids. I live in a 2-horse town. I think we have 3 red lights here. Don't push me on it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 red lights. Not much here. I probably live in the worst part of town. I don't drive a Ferrari. I have a vehicle that was donated to my ministry, to my road trips last year by a good friend. And other than that, I think my other vehicle is about 10 years old. I don't own a home. I rent a home. I'm probably 1 street away from the worst part of town. But I live in a real nice, I live in between 2 older women, and I'm sure my kids are just pure chaos, these poor retired women. But it's been an interesting life. You sacrifice a lot when you decide to just give everything up for the Lord. You look at what you could have been, what you could have had, to what you have now, but what people don't see is the things you have in Him. You build things for eternity. It's not the here and now that matters, it's eternity that matters, because everything we do now matters for eternity. And that's the one thing that so many people forget. They're so busy keeping up with the Joneses on Earth. And I had those dreams at one time, too, having that $500,000 house in the suburbs with a brand new car every year. And, the typical American dream of greed and materialism, I guess. When I look at it now, that's all it was. To just being a person of no means, no fame, no wealth, nothing, just love for the Lord. And doing everything He wants me to do for Him, and I've spent doing this full time for the last 10, 12 years now. And so it's been an interesting journey. I know I had an email from somebody. If you were telling the truth, how come you're not dead yet? And I had to laugh. I sent him an email. What makes you think they haven't tried? I've they have tried, and I'm still here. Many years later, many moons later, I'm still here, still standing, laughing, fighting for the Lord here in the last days. So I'm going to get into some of these questions from listeners that have been coming in. Dear Sherry, do you know anything about the indigo children, AIDS children, the psychic children of China? Well, yeah, they're all serpent seed, folks. I mean, indigo children are hybrids. AIDS children, I feel sorry for them. They're victims of their parents. The disease itself, plagues, caused by the CIA laboratory in Chicago that created AIDS to begin with, as revealed by William Cooper. You could read his works, Beyond Behold the Pale Horse. The psychic children of China. Folks, the Lord warns us in Revelation that the Antichrist is going to have supernatural powers. The false prophet calls down fire from the sky. The false prophet has all kinds of supernatural powers. And these are just conditionings. These are the psychic children. They have supernatural power. The indigo children are alien children. I haven't, some of them are just like the same thing as these psychic children of China. They're just both the same, indigos. Indigo, and otherwise known as star children. You've seen them glorified in the X-Men movies. If you haven't seen those, you want to get an idea of what they are, go see those movies. They just have supernatural powers. They're half alien, they're half human. Probably a product of all these abductions taking place over the years, to where they've been planning on conquering the human race by making it an entirely indigo and star children type race. Half human, half alien, have these humans with supernatural powers, because Satan can't create his own human. He can't duplicate a soul. He can't duplicate putting a soul into a human. And that's because the Lord's breath, when he breathed into the nostrils of Adam, man became a living soul. It was the Lord's breath that was put into Adam that caused him to become a living soul. And Satan can't duplicate that. And so the closest he can come to is by cloning humans, and then having demonic entities possess them, or soul scalping and then putting alien hosts in them, or these hybrids, half human, half alien. I do believe that these hybrids, I know some people will argue with me, I do believe that they can come to the knowledge of the Most High, follow him, accept him, follow him. Some people don't believe that's possible. Some people just don't believe they have enough human soul in them to do that. But I believe it's possible. I know a lot of, I don't know. I really don't know, because, when I sit here and I think about people I do know who are self-professed indigos, Bill Deagle, Dr. Bill Deagle, is a self-professed indigo child. And he pushes medical products online that will change your DNA. He pushes an alien agenda. And I don't know how many Christians I've heard that will tout visions he's had and stuff. Bill Deagle's ex-Canadian Intel. I don't know what the name of their intel agency is. But he's one of these ex-CIAs type things. They're ex. Read between the lines. If there's anything about being an ex, okay. But he's ex. And now he's leading the Church of NORAD in Colorado. I call it the Church of NORAD. Tell these gullible Christians who are being elfed and fooled by technology into thinking God's talking to them, God's giving them visions, God's doing this and that, and it's just elf technology. I have an article on it called The Elf God. And so he's one of these indigo children. He doesn't believe the Lord created Adam and Eve. He believes they were created elsewhere in planet here on Earth. And so, do some research on that, folks. I still believe that I'm not going to say nobody can, because